Hi, I'm Mario Mancini, former WWE wrestler, and first inductee into the 2014 New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. When I want my wrestling news, I watch the Squared Circle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is January 27th, 2014, the day after maybe one of the worst pay-per-views, unfortunately, WWE has ever put out. This is the Squared Circle. I am Hollywood J. Williams.
John Zimmerman, back at you.
Back at you. Before we get into any of that, though, we haven't really talked too much about independent wrestling as of late, but you have some news for us?
Yes, independent wrestling in the state of Connecticut is really huge, and it's probably bigger than it's been in quite some time. We had RWE putting on some great shows late last year, getting into the mix, and they've announced their show coming up, I believe, in February or March. They're making a comeback, and of course, we did lose CTWE in Bethany, but the good news is that Northeast Wrestling took over that venue and took over and absorbed a lot of that talent. So guys like Brian Anthony and Vladimir Joseph and the 203 himself, Lucas Sharp, excuse me, have worked with Northeast Wrestling. The bad news coming out of the independent scene in Connecticut is that there's a new training facility that's going to be opening in Danbury. And that's actually the good news, but the bad news is that they've deemed to call themselves PWA, the Pro Wrestling Academy. And the original and only PWA in Connecticut is Joseph Von Schmidt's organization in New Haven. So while I wish everyone good luck and good fortune, I think trading off on somebody else's good name is a bad way to start. Mm-hmm. Your promotion, your training.
Is it possible he had no idea?
No, because the guys that work with Northeast Wrestling and Joseph Bunchman himself knows the owner, and it's impossible that it was just a mistake or some sort of oversight or an error. If it was a company in the Midwest somewhere or out in California that just happened to randomly pick the name Pro Wrestling Academy, it would be understandable. But there's no doubt that the people involved are aware of Joseph Von Schmidt's product, and I don't know what their motivation was, but trading off on somebody's good name is not the way to go.
I wouldn't think so.
So again, I wish them success in their endeavor, but come up with an original name, fellas. My opinion, and everybody knows that we're fans of Joseph Von Schmidt's product. Everybody knows my son is training there as we speak, and we're fans and friends of PWA. Right? That being said, it was still a shady move, and we'll pretty much leave it at that. But I wish Northeast Wrestling success and all of the Connecticut companies success.
Absolutely.
It's good for business for everybody. If you want to get trained out there, if Northeast Wrestling wants to send somebody on our show and talk about what's going on in their facility, obviously they're welcome to. Bull Dread is actually the major star that works for both promotions. So, obviously Dredd is a friend of the show. He's been on the show. He calls in quite often. And speaking of Bull Dread, the other good news in the Connecticut independent scene, Bull Dread is in negotiations as we speak with Platinum Ink Publishing to publish some of his inspirational writings. So my goal
he's quite a poet, quite a writer from what I understand.
Yeah, so my goal at the outset of this year was to make that happen, and we're going to make that happen. It's in the works. It now They have, he's had meetings already and talks with Platinum Ink Publishing, and it's just a matter of him gathering up his material and getting it organized and ready for print. So we are steps away from having a physical product in our hands. So I'm really happy to be involved in that and helping out Bulge Red and Platinum Ink Publishing get together and get him published. So it's good news and overall good news, I think, for the independent scene.
Instead of bad news.
Right. Well, bad news was last night.
The bad news was last night. I'm gonna flip over here and we're gonna talk about the Royal Rumble, which I'm very, very disappointed in, I have to say.
Yeah.
Given all the attention WWE has drawn in the last few weeks since announcing their launch of the network come February 24th. I think I can speak for you too. We were both expecting a little more out of the Royal Rumble.
Absolutely.
We know the quality of pay-per-views has gone downhill in years. I mean, but with that WWE Network launch coming February 24th, they really missed an opportunity here to step up their game. But I have the results nonetheless. First of all, to me, it doesn't really make any sense why they would have a tag team title defended on a pre-show.
Right.
But last year at WrestleMania, they had the U.S. or Intercontinental title defended on the pre-show.
I believe it was the U.S. title.
It was the U.S. title. So they're I guess it's a direction they're heading in is putting things on the pre-show on the internet, whatever it's on.
Right.
The New Age Outlaws have gained, after how many years that they have not been around, the tag team titles from Cody Rhodes and Goldust.
Right. I mean, last night, you had New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn winning the tag titles. You had Brock Lesnar in one of the main events. You had Batista coming back. Right. Yeah. Kevin Nash came out. It's like Triple H is like paying back favors from long ago, and last night they were going to party like it was 1999, for goodness sake. It's just,
I'm not saying anything about the abilities of Billy Gunn and the Road Dogg. They can still put on a good show, but it was, that was then and this is now.
Yeah, exactly. Now, then, then, now, forever. Well, it's like forever we're going to be watching the same guys do the same stuff. I almost said something wrong. The same guys doing the same things over and over and over. So I don't get it. What happened to they made this announcement of the developmental center. It's a huge facility. They keep showing it on the air. They brought up one guy from NXT last night for the Royal Rumble. Where are all these young new talents that they're developing at their developmental center when all they're doing is they're bringing back New Age Outlaws. They're bringing back Batista. They're bringing back, the guys from the past, Brock Lesnar. I mean, it's like, where's the future?
Right. We're looking at the New Age Outlaws. Billy Gunn was part of the Smoking Guns, and he started in 1994 or 5.
Yeah. As
part of that tag team. Went on to become part of the New Age Outlaws. Went on to become part of Billy and Chuck.
Yeah.
I think you'd rather forget that.
Right.
But I mean, that was then. This is now. I'm not saying they still can't work, but they already had their day in the sun. They need another tag team title run.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. The only thing I can see is that it's possible they wanted to get the belts off of the Rhodes brothers, and they didn't have somebody to do it. The Usos, I don't think are really ready for it as of yet, and they might have plans for those tag belts, and it was a way just to have an interim, tag team champions.
You can't really see these guys holding these belts for very long.
So I mean, I'd imagine that it'll probably lead up to something at WrestleMania.
Right.
But I don't get it. We'll see where it goes. But
we'll see where it goes.
It just seems like anything that's over, like, you know, Cody and Goldust are so over right now, and it's like they're going to squash it. Daniel Bryan is so over right now,
and they're not going to bother giving him a belt.
Right.
The man that probably deserves it the most. Yeah, you'd think he'd at least defeat Bray Wyatt last night.
Oy.
They'd at least let him do that.
Oy. Yeah,
and they couldn't even do that.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Most of the decisions that were made last night were just shake your head.
Poor decisions. Why would you have, after all the things that the Wyatt family has put Mr. Daniel Bryan through, why would you have him lose to Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble?
That should have been his moment. So, I mean, it looks like we're going to have some sort of rematch, either at Elimination Chamber or if they're going to stretch it all the way out to WrestleMania.
Right, which I was really hoping they wouldn't do that.
No, I was hoping otherwise also.
I was really hoping last night Daniel Bryan would have defeated him, and that would have been the end of that.
Yeah.
Move on, both of them move on to other targets. Brock Lesnar defeated the Big Show, and this was another, like, a hands down. It wasn't really. I was expecting a lot more. They've had better matches in the past. They've had better matches in the past on SmackDown, these two.
Yes, I agree.
That was one of the biggest, moments over the last decade.
Right, I agree.
They wrestled the main event on SmackDown, and the ring broke.
Yeah.
The ring basically fell apart.
Right, that's an iconic moment, too, for the WWE. It's on a lot of their highlight reels. I don't get it.
And this new feud, you think they'd do something, similar to that, or maybe take it one step further?
Yeah. And Big Show got in like one punch, and that was like the extent of his offense last night. Again,
it was almost a one-sided match.
I don't get it.
A one-sided Brock Lesnar victory.
And it just seems that, for lack of anything else, they're going to have Brock Lesnar, Undertaker for Mania, unless we're hearing rumblings about Sting again, but I won't believe that till it actually happens.
I don't want to I saw this info. Dylan was he ran across this info on some site.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not discrediting the source, but how many times have we heard Sting's coming in, or how many times have we heard about meetings between Sting and Vince McMahon? Now, he could have very easily had a meeting with Vince McMahon over the weekend. This could very well be really happening, but I mean, we just need a little more to go on.
Yeah, well,
a little info. I don't want to tell you people
speculate. But
right. I don't want to tell you people that this is going to happen.
Right.
And then it doesn't happen.
I do have to say that if we're ever going to get Sting and Undertaker at WrestleMania, this may be the last chance, because I don't see it happening a year from now or beyond that. I think WrestleMania 30 is going to be do or die for the Sting Undertaker match. I think that the clock is really run out.
The clock is run out on that one.
But
Undertaker's clock is very much running out. Sting's clock. I mean, Sting does have a little left in the. He's almost on.
A little left in the tank.
But he can, I can see him around for a couple out of all.
But Undertaker is pretty much done.
Right.
And this will be the last year, realistically. I mean, otherwise they're going to really embarrass themselves if they were to do it 1 year from now. But, it remains to be seen. But we do have confirmation by WWE.com themselves that Hulk Hogan will be in attendance at WrestleMania 30. He has not been cleared to wrestle by the WWE physician.
No.
So he will be there in some capacity. Now, my own speculation is that they're going to induct either WrestleMania or the WrestleMania 1 main event into the WWE Hall of Fame. So
the actual match.
Yeah, either the main event match or the entirety of WrestleMania 1 into the WWE Hall of Fame. Which, as an event, it really launched You know, the WWE as we know it now, and it really launched this, you know, this huge marketing $1.6 billion you know, organization that's dominating the stock market. The last couple of days, the stock market has been down, and the WWE is one of the few things that has gone up on a steady basis.
But yeah.
So you know, I think as an event, as WrestleMania, you know, it's their, you know, everybody says it's their Super Bowl, it's their World Series. You know, it's the huge, the biggest event in wrestling.
I don't have a
year.
Super Bowl party at the household.
No.
I have a WrestleMania party.
Yeah.
We even went ahead and did a WrestleMania pregame last year.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A nice restaurant, you know.
Yep.
We have to discuss what we would like to do for this year, but you know, we have time to think about that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But getting back to Royal Rumble anyway, Randy Orton went against John Cena and successfully defended the WWE title.
With a little help.
A little help.
A little help from the Wyatts. Right?
A little help from the Wyatts. Now the Wyatts are targeting Cena now.
Yeah.
That's another. The Cena doesn't have anything for the Wyatts.
Right.
So why are they picking on Cena?
I mean, are they going to try to turn? You know, they tried to turn Daniel Bryan heel by making him join the Wyatts. Are they going to do this? Try the same
Why
thing?
are they going to
with John Cena?
John Wyatt? Is he going to have those overalls? Was he going to have the goat mask on and do this?
Right.
I mean, just another. It seems like a meaningless feud. Cena has nothing.
I don't get it.
If Cena won the belt from Orton, and then Bray Wyatt came in and attacked him right then and there, it would have some kind of point to it.
Right.
That maybe Bray wants a title shot. But
I don't know who wrote this Royal Rumble last night, but
I mean, some of the names. I'm not going to go through every single last name, but. The only NXT guy, like you said, was Alexander Rusev.
Yes.
Who looked very, very impressive.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact.
He's jacked, big dude. So I mean, more than likely we'll see, you know, some more of him, which is a good thing
in the near future. Kane came out at number 5. All he did was take off his dress shirt.
Yeah.
He lasted maybe about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, but then he sat around outside the ring and interfered later with CM Punk.
And he's the reason why CM Punk got eliminated. Which I'm really disappointed because we were all, you know, taking bets as to who was going to win, and I really thought that CM Punk was going to pull it off, even from the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
But thanks to Kane, that did not happen.
Right.
Other notables, like you said, Kevin Nash came in. Sheamus returned. Yeah,
we kind of expected that, and I'm really hoping that this is a resurgence and re-energizing of the Sheamus character. I liked Sheamus from day 1 when he came in, and I think they made some wrong choices with him and tried to make him heel, tried to make him face, you know, and he had the worst merch, I must say. So hopefully they'll figure out what to do with a guy like Sheamus, because I do think he's World Championship caliber material.
He could be a heel, he could be a face, either one. He can work.
Yeah, they really need to make a decision on where they're going to go with that character, and really give him a push. Because I like the guy, I like his work. You know, he's a relatively big guy, and you know, and if you watch some of the fights that he had prior to the WWE, he's a really good worker, and I don't think they've really taken advantage of you know, his abilities.
Yeah.
So.
And he's not somebody that's injury prone very much.
No. I mean, obviously he just came back from an injury, but that was like the one time. Well, we do have a call if you want to jump on the line.
We'll do that. You are live.
I wasn't too surprised that the Big Show got beat. I understand the Big Show hasn't been the same since Floyd Mayweather gave him a beating a few years ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember that WrestleMania moment.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good evening, Ed. How are you?
Good, good. I don't know if I'm showing my age, but I saw on Facebook, I think Dylan posted something about the animal coming back, and I got excited because I thought it meant George Steele was
Not that animal.
Oh.
Yeah. George the Animal Steele is in the better part of his 70s right now, and I don't think he has too many bumps left in him.
Yeah.
And I heard you mention this might be the last go-around for the Undertaker. God, he's got to be around 50 now, isn't he?
He's 50. He's 50. He's just 50, the big 50.
Okay.
But in wrestling years, especially the bumps and bruises that he's taken, 50 is like 70.
Right. Exactly.
But he still draws, huh? He's still the.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's. Not only is he popular with the fans, but he's the ringleader in the locker room, and there's not a person in the business that'll say anything bad about him.
No.
All right. Oh, okay.
So, hey, I want to congratulate you. You had the Hubbard Park, top of the mountain there.
Yeah, I did yes, I had the annual 5K. Actually, they call it not a race, but a tradition run up to the castle at Hubbard Park, which I survived for another year. So
yes.
I've been doing that since 78. So
wow.
It's yeah. One of these years I'll get it right, but we'll see. I did want to mention that I thought professional wrestling was getting a lot of extra publicity because after the Seattle Seahawks San Francisco 49er game, when Richard Sherman went into his rant at his sideline interview with the reporter,
yeah,
he sounded just like a professional wrestler. And I heard a couple of the WFAN, I think on Saturday morning, did a big thing about it. Why is everybody, ranking out Richard Sherman? He's just doing like a regular, wrestling sticks.
Right. He's doing a promo, yeah. You're right, but I think it was his choice of words, and at that moment, it was a heat of the moment kind of thing that he said. Yeah.
Because I guess he's a pretty smart kid. He's a Stanford graduate. He's very, very well spoken, and that he was just in character. And like you say, the emotion of the game just ended moments ago. So, So to do that, but it got a lot of extra press, and they, of course, were making the comparisons to some of those classic Gene Okerlund interviews from years gone by.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
But
let me tell you, Mean Gene.
That's all I wanted to weigh in. Oh, when is WrestleMania?
April, first week in April.
Yeah, April 1st, 2nd.
The 6th.
April 6th.
April 6th.
April 6th this year.
April 6th. Okay, I will.
They're doing it in New Orleans this year. The Superdome.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. A warm weather site. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
and well, Ed, the tickets just went on sale, so you can hook us up anytime you like.
Well, the only connection I have is the Thunderous one, so good luck.
Have you heard from the Thunderous one at all? I don't know where he is. I mean,
I have not. I thought I would see. I thought I would see the trio on television tonight, but
so did we.
Yeah, we still have absolutely no idea where he is.
Yeah. Let's leave it that way. No.
Oh, wow.
No. All right, gentlemen, that's all for me tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ed.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't know if he's still been abducted or what.
If anyone hears from him, have him call in, get back to us, let us know what's going on. Our search parties are still out there looking.
Search parties are still out there looking.
I think there's more party than search, but I don't know.
They're probably partying. That's why they haven't found him. Maybe if he turned on his phone.
Maybe.
He's got the GPS on his phone. That might help. But
doesn't help you though.
I don't have a GPS.
Oh, well, you need one.
I need to get one.
Oh boy.
That's the problem with me.
Yeah.
GPS.
But we mentioned the stock a little earlier, and the stock today for WWE closed at 21.41, and it peaked as high as 21.98.
21.98.
It was up 57 cents from Friday, and it just keeps climbing.
Oh yeah.
And climbing. I think the negotiations for the TV rights are really driving this market, and also obviously, as we mentioned before, the network.
The network is a big issue with it. So this is what I have here. The stock hit another 52-week high, surpassed another benchmark, and reached the highest point in 13 years for the second consecutive Friday. This was last Friday. You gave us the figures for today, but shares of WWE stock crossed the $21 per share mark on Friday, peaking at $21.05 per share. And this follows WWE stock passing the $20 per share mark last Friday, the Friday before that.
Correct.
Both are the highest points in 13 years since February of 2001, when back then it was $21.59 a share. The substantial growth even drew attention from Jim Cramer, the host of CNBC's Mad Money.
Yes.
And when you do that, you know you're going places.
Right. As I said, the market, the market on Friday was down overall, and WWE is one of the very few stocks that actually went up. And like we've been reporting, it's been driving and going up and up on a steady pace. But we have Mr. Tom Dacey on the line.
We have Mr. Dacey. We're going to clear this up right now. I want to know where the third wheel is here. You are live, Mr. Dacey. Where are you?
Well, I have some good news.
What's the good news?
I arrived back home safe and sound at my palatial estate this afternoon.
I see.
After all this time, I didn't even think my new life alert has a GPS.
Ah.
I see.
And I was down, believe it or not, I was in Death Valley.
Death Valley?
Yeah.
How did you get over to Death Valley?
I have no idea.
Wow.
Were you trying to go out to Vegas to see Bad News Bob and you wound up taking a wrong turn?
I don't know, but I still believe that the Wyatts were behind it, and I have some proof to bring in next week to show you that I believe the Wyatts were behind it.
I see. Okay. You got to show us the evidence here.
Yes.
Because you're using up all your sick time, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, we're going to have to start docking your pay over here at the Squared Circle.
But
you got to use that stuff when it's warm weather.
That's right.
I believe the Undertaker should give the tombstone to that last caller.
I think he should give the tombstone to that last pay-per-view.
I heard it was bad. It was really that bad, huh?
Awful.
It was
awful.
real bad.
Awful. Mick Foley even tweeted something to the effect that that it was the worst pay-per-view ever.
I have a little a little more to talk about as far as the Royal Rumble a little later on in my segment. And one of the participants in the Royal Rumble is getting worse through the week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you back safe and sound, and we'll have you on the air next week.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent.
And I will bring the evidence.
All right, Mr. Dacey.
Yeah, we can clear everything up with HR, and we'll get you squared away because we don't want to see you get in trouble here.
That's right.
Okay, and keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm a little relieved.
Yes, that's call off the search party.
Yeah, just party. That's it.
Just party now.
You
no
don't have to search for anything. The only thing you got to search for is Coronas. That's it. But speaking of Royal Rumble people that you saw compete last night, Brock Lesnar, his health concerns have been a big part of his life over the past few years.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Sort of the reason why he's no longer with the UFC.
Yes.
Paul Heyman recently had an interview on Mark Madden's radio show. He said Lesnar recently had blood work done which revealed diverticulitis disease in his system throughout his adult life. But being freakishly strong, however, he was able to fight off the disease until his health scare back in 2009. The rise of the disease led to the end of his UFC career, which brought Lesnar back to the WWF subsequently in 2012. So that is why he's back. Hopefully, he doesn't have any more bouts.
Right. Right.
It's kind of put an end to his fighting career, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you hate to see that happen to any athlete, but it was the right decision to no longer fight in the UFC. The chances of him getting seriously hurt in the cage were huge. So I mean, it was definitely the right move.
Even to this day, even when he's in a match, he still prefers. You got to be careful where you're punching him.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Especially in the stomach area.
Yeah, the stomach and the chest area. You know, he does have issues with his heart, and obviously we don't want to see anybody get hurt or you know, some tragedy befall
Absolutely
them.
Not.
Just for our entertainment, it's just not worth it. You know, I mean, you know, at the moment this is sports entertainment, and that's what it should be. And you know, somebody getting tragically injured is not entertainment to me.
No.
Which is why they made the decision not to have Hogan actually take any bumps. So it'll be wonderful to see Hulk Hogan come back and be a part of what he helps create at WrestleMania. But we don't need to see him in the ring.
No, we've seen enough of that.
Yeah.
You can serve the telecast in many other ways, much better ways, many other ways at his age right now.
Yes, yes.
There's so many things that they could have him do besides wrestle.
Right. And, I mean, literally he needs to pass the torch on, as well as the other guys that we mentioned. You know, Kevin Nash needs to pass the torch on to the next generation.
It's nice to see him in a Rumble once in a while, but you know he's not going to win.
Right, right. It's you know,
it's almost a waste of a number.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was.
But also, Paul Heyman, being the advocate for Brock Lesnar, addressed on this radio interview on 105.9 The X in Pittsburgh. He addressed rumors about Undertaker versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. He said if the Taker rumors are true, they're very interesting. It's the right year and right guy for Lesnar to walk away and crush the streak. Is that a challenge?
That's just Heyman being Heyman, you know.
Of course it is.
You know, letting it all hang out there. I think that we really don't need to see Lesnar versus Taker, but you know, short of Sting, Undertaker, who else is going to do it?
We're running out of options at this point.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I really think that CM Punk gave us you know, a great match at last year's WrestleMania, and you know, like you said, who else is there?
Who else
you know, we're running out of options.
One of the options they were talking early on was Ryback.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's kind of been tabled.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Ryback should be tabled.
Ryback should be tabled. Don't you ride back no more, no more, no more, no more. I'm stealing your line there.
Yeah.
I personally want to see Sting versus Undertaker. I thought we were talking earlier. I think the time for Sting to come in is now.
Yeah, I think, you know what, Vince should just, whatever has prevented Sting from doing this in the past, Vince should just say, you know what, whatever it is that it's going to take, we'll do it. And make it, you know, because, you know, here we are at WrestleMania 30. That's monumental. It's going to be the first pay-per-view on the network. That's monumental.
It's very monumental.
Right. What can you give us that we have not seen yet? You know, we've seen Lesnar, Undertaker. We've seen, you know, every combination there could be. The one thing that we have not seen yet is Sting, Taker.
No.
Headline WrestleMania. You know, just whatever it's going to take. You know, if it's a matter of money, if it's a matter of, you know, apologizing for the Attitude Era to Sting to make him feel better about it, whatever it is, whatever's preventing Sting from coming over. You know, if you got to buy out his contract in TNA,
do it.
Just do it.
I mean, his contract is pretty much expired anyway.
I believe so. But whatever is, you know, there's some sort of stumbling block there that has prevented it from happening. You know, we've heard it over and over and over in the last 4 or 5 years.
This is sort of like when you go fishing and you have the Picture Vince McMahon in a boat, and he's casting the line and stings that big trout that he's always been wanting to catch, but it always keeps getting away.
So what's going to be the lure that's finally going to catch him?
Right.
You know?
This has been ongoing since the mid-1980s, folks.
Wow.
He has wanted Sting in the worst way all this time.
Well, it's really the only huge superstar that he hasn't had.
Right. He's had everyone else.
Pretty much.
This is the end all for him.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be the final piece of the puzzle.
The final piece of the puzzle.
But if I had to say, I would like to see Undertaker headline WrestleMania versus Joseph Von Schmidt. My opinion.
Versus Von Schmidt.
Joseph Von Schmidt, Undertaker.
Von Schmidt could have a good match.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. But
we'll see what happens.
Say la vie.
Say la vie. What about Kid Scrawny?
Well, maybe.
I think Kid Scrawny could end the streak.
I think there would be a streak behind Kid Scrawny as he ran out of the ring.
But we'll see what happens with that. They're also trying to work, in addition to the network coming in, they're also trying to figure out where they're going to be having their programming, their Raw, their SmackDown, their other programming, as their contracts are about to expire with
USA, Sci-Fi,
which is all NBC Universal.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe to sweeten the pot or whatever, NBC Universal is considering helping build, speaking of the Hall of Fame, a WWE Hall of Fame / WWE presence over at Universal Studios in Orlando. This is coming from the New York Post. The pitch would be considered a deal sweetener during this ongoing TV negotiation between WWE and NBCU for Raw, SmackDown, and other programming. WWE wants to double or even triple the amount of money they receive for TV programming, which is listed at $140 million per year, according to the Post report. NBCU's exclusive negotiating window ends next week.
Wow.
Which would then allow WWE to negotiate with other media conglomerates. Two other companies which are mentioned in the report are Viacom, where you can see Spike TV, which is Spike TV, which is where you can see totally non-active wrestling, unimpactful, and Ted Turner, of all people, the Turner Networks, who feuded with McMahon in the 1990s. The Post does not say that NBCU can match. Does say that NBCU can match a competing offer from another company if they do not reach a deal during the current negotiating window. Can you imagine WWE programming once again on the Turner Networks? That would be kind of strange. Hey,
you know what? Hell has frozen over already with Bruno Sammartino in the Hall of Fame. You know, it wouldn't be surprising. I think, barring a deal with NBC Universal, Viacom would be a brilliant move for both companies, because Viacom not only, has what's the network you just mentioned?
Spike TV.
Excuse me, Spike TV. Not only do they own Spike TV, they own MTV, VH1, VH1 Classic, Nickelodeon. Goodness. A ton of other properties, and the crossover potential is huge.
They were once carried on there before, right before TNA went over to Spike.
Right, but now with Vince getting his wrestlers into TV shows and guest appearances and stuff like that, Viacom via Nickelodeon would be a great move, and to get some of the wrestlers onto the Nickelodeon programming, which hits that tween market, that 8 to 13-year-old. I mean, it would be just a marriage made in heaven to have some of his guys show up on those.
John Cena, especially. John Cena would be there.
Yeah, on those, the Teen Nick Awards, that kind of thing, and it would be interesting to see what Viacom could do, you know, and you know, I mean, the music videos that Vince had done for the entrance themes and stuff like that could be easily transitioned over to a VH1 or an MTV, you know, one of those products, VH1 Classic, etc. You know, and a guy like Jericho has already done work with the VH1 network and hosted some of like their countdown kind of shows, the greatest metal moments of all time and stuff like that. So I mean, you know, Jericho's worked with them, and you can see, you know, other guys, you know, from the WWE roster getting into some of the other Viacom properties. And Viacom also owns theater, you know, exhibition theater chains, and that would be a possible opening of broadcasting some of the pay-per-views into the Viacom theaters.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, it could.
You could go to a movie theater and watch the pay-per-view.
Yeah, yeah. So it would be interesting. I mean, that's a throwback to when, you know, the WrestleMania started. And you know, you can go to sports venues or theaters and see a closed circuit run of that. But now with the digital cameras in the theaters, it's just a you know, matter of turning on the feed and boom, it's right in the theater screen.
There you go.
So something like that would
be a good night out.
Yeah, would be advantageous for not only the WWE but for the Viacom umbrella. But we'll see.
With Turner, that was the whole hang-up with Eric Bischoff purchasing WCW back in 2001, because the person that got promoted, now I don't know if he's there or not anymore, that he was director of sporting events for the Turner Networks, decided, you know what, we don't want professional wrestling on the Turner Networks anymore.
Right.
They no longer have a home, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And with that being said, Eric Bischoff mostly his investors decided to pull out.
Right.
You know, this is not worth it, Eric. You know, we're taking off here. So why would Ted Turner and his company decide, after how long has it been? 13 years now, to bring professional wrestling back to the Turner Networks?
Why? It draws ratings. It's a money decision.
It does.
And you know, WWE, especially now, as we've been talking about, is one of the hottest commodities going. You know, it's a $1.6 billion company, and it shows no signs of slowing down. You know, and it's in that 13 years, you know, you have seen WCW fold, ECW fold. You know, and you know, Vince has gone global. He's gone worldwide in the last 13 years, and he's opened up. I think last month or 2 months ago, Saudi Arabia. He's airing. So I mean, you know, it has no signs of slowing down. He just keeps expanding and expanding and expanding.
Growing and growing and growing.
You know, next year with the network going global, you're going to see more and more people worldwide having access to the WWE product, and it's just going to draw more eyes and more people and more advertisers to that product. So for anybody, any network, it's going to be a boon to have Monday Night Raw and you know, Friday Night SmackDown.
Probably Raw more.
Yeah.
SmackDown more or less became the rerun for Raw.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't know. You know, they could rebrand it and you know, repackage it at any time, the SmackDown product, and you know, possibly show some of the NXT matches there, or you know, use that for the proving ground for some of the guys they're going to bring up, as they had in the past. So
they should do that. Bring the brand extension back.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And what's the point? I thought these belts were unified, but Randy Orton has one of them in one hand and the other in the other hand.
Right.
So I guess he's just two champions at once.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, usually, you know, in the past when they say unify the belt, they've taken two and just made one, but now he's still holding the two. So it makes you wonder if they're going to split it back up again, or maybe like at a WrestleMania or at one of the pay-per-views, debut the new unified belt.
Unified belt. Because
Possibly.
it doesn't make any sense him carrying both belts around.
Right.
They could do many things with it. They could oust Triple H and Stephanie. I mean, on screen, not in real life, obviously.
Right.
And say they had no right to unify the belts, and now they're separate again. They could do all kinds of things. They're the WWE. They could do pretty much
whatever they want.
Almost whatever they want. I mean, there's some things they have. I mean, they're going to be G-rated for moving forward.
Yeah. But we shall see. And I think it's next year that their deal with Mattel is due to be renewed. And we'll see what comes of that. You know,
with the network, you know.
Right. I haven't really been impressed with the Mattel products, but that's me.
That's you.
But with the new, not Slammers, there's a new Mattel product, and they're going to have a cartoon based on that. Slam City, thank you.
Slam City.
I knew it was Slam something. Slam City action figures, and they're going to star in their own cartoon upcoming. So they may have to stay in some sort of deal with Mattel to keep that cartoon running. You know, because it ties in with the action figures.
Hey, of course.
But
those are cartoons. I'm an adult. I don't watch cartoons anymore.
I love cartoons.
I mean, I used to watch the Crank Yankers when they were on, but that's not really because puppets.
No.
Anyway.
Well, you can't deny a good Bugs Bunny cartoon. Or even The Simpsons.
Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. There you go. See? Simpsons.
Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
One day he'll catch that damn Roadrunner.
We'll catch him sooner or later. Sooner or later. Do you have any information as it pertains to Santino Marella and surgery?
He had neck surgery.
Neck surgery.
Disc
replaced is what we're hearing from our peanut gallery.
We want to wish him the best of luck in his recovery.
Yeah.
It was over the weekend.
Yeah, he's always fun. I like Santino. You know, the thing with Santino Marella is that he knows what he is. He's comic relief. He enjoys, you know, he goes out there and he has fun doing it, and he's really good at it. He gets over with the kids in the crowd, and he is what he is, and he doesn't pretend to be, you know, anything better or, you know. And the thing of it is, he's actually a very good worker and could be utilized in so many different fashions. And you know, he found his little niche with this, you know, his comedic character, and it's fun, you know, and used in the proper spot. You know, it's a good transition from two darkly serious matches.
Right, and then all of a sudden to see Santino come out.
Yeah, a little levity. So, I mean, I like the guy.
It's always good to bring Santino out after your favorite star gets beaten down by the Wyatts or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves, you know, it's shtick, and everybody likes it. So
hopefully we see him back soon.
Yeah, all the best.
All the best. How much time are we looking at now?
We got about a little shy of 15 minutes.
A little shy of 15 minutes. We're going to talk. There's a little interview before I get to my favorite segment of all.
Yep.
There's a little interview I saw pop up on the Torch.com.
Yes.
About CM Punk.
Yep.
He was interviewed by MMA reporter Ariel
Helwani. Ariel Helwani is a reporter for the Canadian the Fight Network out of Canada. He does a lot of interviews and, like you said, mostly MMA. But he's a correspondent along with John Pollock and Wei Ting out of the Fight Network in Canada, and he's a really respected guy in the business, as well as John Pollock and his cohort Wei Ting. But you know, it's great stuff. If you can get onto the Pro Wrestling Report on the podcasts, definitely check out John Pollock. John Pollock also does the MMA Report. And you know, Ariel Helwani is a huge contributor to TFN, the Fight Network out of Canada.
Well, he stopped over to CM Punk's house with camera in hand.
Yep.
And interviewed him right in his kitchen.
Excellent.
As he was making coffee. It's pretty cool. So I invite people to check it out. This was Thursday night prior to UFC's Fox event in Chicago, and obviously the Royal Rumble. Most noteworthy was Punk acknowledging that his WWE contract is up in 6 months.
Yes.
And he's not sure if he will continue with the WWE or not. As of right now, he says he hasn't decided. He's saying that he doesn't want to say he's staying. He doesn't want to say he's leaving, because either way he's going to sound like he's full of crap. Pardon the expression, but you know, he doesn't. He says he's going to dance around the topic for the next 6 months to avoid deja vu. 3 years ago, the last time Punk was 100% out the door, and we know how that ended. He said he was going to be done, and then he ended up re-signing after Money in the Bank. That's why he's claiming he doesn't want to tell anybody. He doesn't want to let the cat out of the bag. Yeah. He probably doesn't even know himself. He's, you know, it's, you know, he figures he's got the next 6 months. He'll make a decision. He also, strangely enough, entered his name into the ring of potential candidates to induct the Ultimate Warrior into the Hall of Fame. He says he has a certain kinship with the Warrior. He has things in common with the Warrior, even though he's never met him. I don't see it happening. He's basically saying that what everybody else says, the conventional wisdom says Hogan's going to be the one to induct him. Right. So, also he touched on the WWE Network. Little concern probably some of the stars have with it is with the pay-per-view offerings at $9.99 a month. Is their pay going to go down? Is their pay going to go up? It's a little tough to say.
Well, he's in contract negotiations. I don't, I'm not a contract lawyer, but if the current contracts are in place until, whatever time, obviously they're not going to change. Right. So whatever they get per appearance or per year, whatever their particular deal is. Now, when it comes time for renegotiation,
is that going to affect the budget?
That it's a possibility. But with the network, you're going to have a guaranteed $9.99 a month, right? Per subscriber, and they know ahead of time.
They'll probably get more subscribers to the network than they ever did with people ordering pay-per-views.
It's a possibility, and it's a known income. You put on the pay-per-view, you don't know how many people are going to buy it. You don't know how many people are going to be clicking on that buy button, and we won't know, like last night's pay-per-view, until probably Tuesday or Wednesday, the final results of the buy rate. And with a subscription service, you know how many subscribers you have, so you know what is going to be coming through that door, as far as income every month.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it could be a game changer for the talent in a positive way.
That could affect him negatively.
Or it could affect him negatively.
And he doesn't really, he's saying that. He doesn't really want to speculate. He says it's too early to say.
Yeah.
And he's right in that.
I think overall, it'll be a good thing, and it'll be a positive thing. And like I said, the following year, the network goes global, and the sky's the limit. The
sky's the limit. He also touched on other things such as Brock Lesnar and Batista, the possibility of himself in an MMA fight, the rising popularity of Mr. Daniel Bryan, which is kind of where CM Punk was about 3 years ago. He loves to hear the crowds going, yes, yes, yes. Right. He gets into that. And
I'm sorry.
An incident involving a woman named Michelle Beadle. She's a TV host of some sort.
That's the lady that got smacked at Troops.
She got smacked. She was the one that got smacked at tribute to the Troops.
Oh, okay.
I read that.
All right. Don't really want to, touch on the exact. You have to read the internet.
Yeah. What did he say about a possible MMA fight? Yes, no.
He says he wouldn't rule it out.
Okay. You got 5 minutes, so if you want to get to your work.
I have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know there's a segment you want to get to, so.
It's a segment I want to get to.
We're going to jump right to it.
We're going to jump right to it. Now, Bronze is going to go to TNA just because. If everybody saw it Thursday night, you know why. Yeah. Runner-up, the Royal Rumble itself. Yeah. Being a really, trashy pay-per-view. But I got to say, last Friday night was the return of David Batista, and he did enter himself into the Royal Rumble. And last night, Mr. David Batista, and we know how how far he goes back with Triple H
Yep.
and with Stephanie,
Yep.
Days of Evolution. He's back and he wins the Royal Rumble.
Just like that.
Just like that. Goes back to the locker room. People are booing him like crazy.
Yeah.
I understand he flipped a couple people off.
Yeah. You know, I mean, we go back to last year's WrestleMania. They're bringing The Rock. You know, and I've said it before, the slap in the face of the guys that are there week in, week out. You know, Kofi Kingston gave an outstanding performance once again last night. And, you know, the guys that are there every day, Dolph Ziggler, who gets overlooked for, you know, a title run, and Batista comes in and automatically gets a title shot at WrestleMania.
Dave, I'm glad to see you back, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there should have been some build.
To me, you had no right even being in the Rumble, let alone winning it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what kind of deal you made, but you have managed to alienate an entire locker room.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. I mean, if you were trying to make friends coming back, I think you're not really going to be making any friends now, buddy.
You know, for a political move, you know, or entertainment move, you know, bringing The Rock in because The Rock is such a high-profile person outside of the wrestling, you know, scene. But Batista is basically only known within the wrestling scene. He's in a couple of movies, but he's not, you know, you walk up to the average schmo on the street, they don't know who Dave Batista is. You know, you walk up to the average person on the street, and they know who Dwayne The Rock Johnson is. So bringing him in is not going to is not going to get you any more buys for WrestleMania, because he's Dave Batista.
Yeah.
The Rock, you brought in that element of the people that are not wrestling fans or casually wrestling fans, and you bring in the cachet of the huge mega movie star that The Rock has become.
Let's say you're buddy with your boss. I don't know if you really are or not, but let's say you leave your job, and 4 years later,
without a doubt,
you come back at the same pay rate with the same vacation time, in the same position.
Well, it's like being the boss's son. You know, that kind of thing.
How are the rest of your coworkers going to feel about you?
You have no respect, no credibility, and you know it's really sad that you know this is the direction they went. But we'll see how it pans out. But my worst of the week, before we run out of time, is the faux PWA. So with 2 minutes left.
2 minutes left, Dave Batista, you're my worst of the week.
And the faux PWA.
With 2 minutes left, I really don't have too much else. I don't really have any info on Raw tonight. Hopefully, I'm sure it'll be much better than the Royal Rumble was.
Yeah. And this just in from the WWE. The road to WrestleMania begins live tonight on Raw with the 2014 Royal Rumble winner Batista and more.
And more.
So they're really high on Batista.
Really high on Batista.
Yeah.
Maybe they're high.
Well, we're going to have the Marijuana Bowl.
I see.
Colorado and Washington State both legalized marijuana, and both of their teams are in the Super Bowl. So.
Because they got high. Because they got high.
Right. Rocky Mountain High becomes
that's it.
Really, really the term. So with that,
we'll wrap things up here. Enjoy Raw tonight. I'm Hollywood J. Williams.
I'm John Zimmerman.
Good night and good luck.